All right, what is good, everybody? We are going to be going over Friday's trade. We ended up hitting a trade. This trade recap is a day later, because again, Friday I was a little bit busy. Okay, so we ended up hitting around 5,000 on Friday, so we got a little bit of our losses back. We hit 241 per account. Um, we took two trades on Wednesday. We took one trade on Monday. Monday was a little bit bigger of a loss that I wanted to take. That's why I only took one trade. But Tuesday, we ended up getting a $179 loss and a $155 loss per account. So on Friday, we ended up making 75% back of these two losses, which I'm okay with because based off the risk to reward for this trade, I didn't want to risk more just in case it didn't play out. But we trusted the trade, we trusted the system, and it ended up hitting, and we made a little bit of our money back. So coming into the day, I was bearish. Okay. Reason why I was bearish, we're going to go over this on NASDAQ because I can only replay on one side. I hate how TradingView doesn't let you do both. But I was bearish coming into the higher time frame because, again, we were bearish in the 4-hour time frame. We never broke structure back to the upside. We were also, bullish on the hourly time frame. But, again, we had this hourly fair value gap right here that I wanted to see if we were going to respect. And we also had this 4-hour fair value gap above where I wanted to see if we were going to sweep out this high. Because usually I like to see if we have a higher time frame draw on liquidity above in a 4-hour, like a higher time frame fair value gap or something like that, that's usually a higher probability to target. Or if we end up coming up and sweeping it and showing that we're going to reverse off of it, that's usually a spot where we can sweep out that draw on liquidity and reverse and then target our sell side down below. And that was my mindset coming into today. Okay, so coming into the day, we could see we go to the 5-minute time frame. Price came up. We ended up sweeping out that 5-minute high. Correct. Right before market open, or on market open, we'll go to market open, which is this line right here. We could see we came down, we swept out London session low, correct? We had a big move down. We ended up disrespecting this 15-minute fair value gap. We broke structure on the 15-minute time frame. We broke structure on the 5-minute time frame. I wanted to see if we can get a retrace and see if we could target. We had a 4-hour low / Asian session low down below, right? Since we swept out a 4-hour high, I wanted to see if we can come down and take out a 4-hour low instead of just taking out London session low, right? That wasn't enough for me to make price react and continue higher, okay? So my mindset on this trade was, since we inversed the 15-minute fair value gap, broke structure in the 15-minute time frame, we're still bearish on the 4-hour time frame. Higher time frame holds higher power. We're respecting a 4-hour fair value gap with sweeping a 4-hour draw on liquidity. I want to see if we can get a retrace and continue lower. Okay, so what I ended up marking out is I haven't traded order blocks in a long time, but this trade ended up playing out on this day. It was a perfect setup for me, in my opinion. I trusted the system. We let it do its thing. So we ended up, let's X out this London session low. We ended up getting a retrace back up into this 15-minute. We formed a 15-minute bullish fair value gap, and we came into this 5-minute order block right here, right? We can mark that out for you. 5-minute order block. Okay. We tap into that 5-minute order block. We have a 5-minute fair value gap right here. We have a 15-minute bearish fair value gap right here. I was like, all right, can we get selling pressure out of this area? As we could see, we end up coming down and we end up disrespecting this bullish 5-minute fair value gap. Okay, so that's showing me, hey, bearish confirmations are being respected. Bullish confirmations are being disrespected. We have sell side liquidity down below. I honestly thought we were going to continue lower and take out all this sell side that I had marked out, but we ended up not doing that, okay? But we ended up hitting our full take profit because we had these 4-hour / Asian session lows. It was an 83-point trade. That was plenty for me to take my trade, right? So I waited on the 5-minute time frame. We could see we disrespect that 5-minute fair value gap. We'll X this out real quick so it doesn't get in the way. That's when I scaled down to the 1-minute time frame, okay? I scaled down to the 1-minute time frame. We formed this huge 1-minute bearish fair value gap. So I was like, okay, 1-minute bearish fair value gap. We have equilibrium from this most recent high to this most recent low. I want to see price come into equilibrium. Respect this 1-minute bearish fair value gap by getting a bearish candle closure out of it, and then we take our entry. What do we get? Bang. We get a bearish candle closure right out of equilibrium and this 1-minute bearish fair value gap. I had my stop loss a little bit above this high. I usually keep it above equilibrium, but it was a 58-point stop loss. I had it around a 53-point stop loss. I'm pretty sure a 54. But this was my entry, okay? Break even was the most recent low. I wanted to see if we can run all the way down. We ended up having a 15-minute low down here. This was originally going to be my first take profit, and then second take profit, as you could see in the live recording, was Asian session lows and this 4-hour low, which was an 83-point trade. First take profit was going to be a 63-point trade. I ended up taking my profit at this green line here that's already marked. And I wanted to keep that mark because, again, I'm going to be honest with you guys and girls because you can see how price action was. Look, we almost get stopped out once. We almost get stopped out by like a point. We almost get stopped out by a point. It's a second time. And then price comes back up again. We almost get stopped out again. Then price ends up coming down to our break even. I move my stop loss to break even here. When I was paying attention to this, we could see, we'll go over here on ES if you guys and girls can see this. We ended up forming a 15-minute low on ES, correct? So we had a 15-minute low over here on ES. I'll mark this out right here, right? We'll go to the 1-minute time frame. We could see on this move down, ES came down and swept out this 15-minute low, correct? I wanted to take a partial. I didn't take a partial right away when we got to our break-even level. I ended up taking a partial off the next candle, which was right here. I got exited out right at the bottom of this candle, which was for around a 53-point trade, right? Our stop loss was around 53 points. So again, that was a 1-to-1 risk to reward. I wanted to secure profits because, again, we were on a 3-trade losing streak. I was fine with that. And then I let my last runner run down to this Asian session slash 4-hour low, correct? I thought ES could come down, take out the London session lows, which it did. And as you can see, price came down, went right through our take profit. And that was pretty much the trade. That was it. I went in with 2 micros on this trade, and we still made $241 per account. So we ended up making close to $5,000. In my opinion, it was a solid trade. My risk to reward was good because, again, if we went in 3 micros, we would have been risking a lot more. And if this trade didn't play out in our direction, I wouldn't have been comfortable taking that risk. I was comfortable with taking my risk with 2 micro E-minis. It made me comfortable to hold my trade, trust the trade, trust my system, accept the risk if I would have lost anyway. And again, the trade ended up playing out in our favor, which is awesome. But regardless, I think it was overall a good trade. We trusted the trade, and that's what happens. We didn't exit early. As much as I wanted to, was seeing this chop and going back to break even 4 times. I wanted to just cut it at break even, but again, I trusted the trade, and once I started seeing momentum to the downside, we hit our break even level. I cut that trade to break even. We secured 1 take profit. We let that last runner run for an 83-point trade, and we ended up hitting $241 per account, as you guys can see here. So again, we got a little bit of our money back. We still ended the week minus 8.7K. Again, I'm sizing up a little bit, and I'm trusting my system. The past 7 to 8 months, I've just been focusing on building these accounts slowly and trusting my system and just proving to myself that I have a profitable strategy if I trust the math and statistics behind it. And again, this is the new year where I wanted to start it off by trusting that. I sized up just a little bit. I'm not going crazy. I'm still going to be risking around 200 to 250 per trade. Target my 1 to 2s. On Monday, I really thought I was risking around 250, but again, we ended up losing a little bit more than we wanted to because we got stopped out a little bit higher since how price action was moving. And again, days like that are going to happen. I'm not going to let that stop me from doing what I'm doing right now. And again, just keep building and doing the right thing. So again, this was Friday's trade. I'm going to be posting this a day later because I was a little bit busy yesterday, but I still want to get this trade recap up for you guys and girls. But again, it's been a while since I used an order block, right? We had that 5-minute order block. We had a 15-minute fair value gap. We had a 5-minute fair value gap in there. I thought that was a great spot to see a reaction off of. When we came down and we inversed that 5-minute bullish fair value gap, that made me comfortable to target that sell side, right? And then I scaled down to that 1 minute. We got our confirmation, our continuation confluences. We got 2 of them. Our fair value gap getting respected and equilibrium. We broke structure in the 1 minute time frame. To me, man, that was a good setup in my opinion, and it ended up playing out. So that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys and girls learn a little bit from this. I wanted to go over this again. It might be a little bit more of a quicker trade recap and a little bit more messier since I wish TradingView would let us just go back. And again, I'm filming this a day later, so price action played out a little bit more. But again, overall good trade. We could see our stop loss was perfect also because then price ended up instantly reversing. Another trade you could have taken was, again, we got a V-shaped recovery right out of that area, and we formed a 5-minute SMT off of sweeping out London session lows. We already swept that out on NASDAQ. We came down, swept out the Asian session and the 4-hour lows, which is right here, as you guys and girls can see. And we got a V-shaped recovery out of that. A good trade that you could have taken also, and I think I saw a couple other people take that, as entry could have been right off of this V-shaped recovery, this inverse fair value gap off of this candle. Stop would have probably been below this low, which still would have been the same risk to reward basically off our trade, and then target all these draws and liquidity above. This could be first take profit, second take profit, third take profit. We had a bunch of hourly highs above. And again, this trade ended up playing out also, which would have been a good trade. But again, I took my trade, one and done if I win a trade. And that's pretty much it. We move on to the next week. So we'll see what we do next week. I appreciate everybody who's liked and subscribed. Holy shit, subscribe to my channel. we're going to keep just chucking forward every single day and doing what we do and just slowly building, showing the truth, showing the real reality of trading. And again, if you're new to my channel, go like, go subscribe. We're just showing the real truth of my journey at the end of the day. All right. Hopefully you learned a little bit from this. We're going to be finishing more videos in the series coming up. So go look at my playlist on YouTube. It's called The Trader's Roadmap. I'm going to literally be making videos about everything I know about trading, prop firms, all that stuff. You've probably heard me explain it in other videos already. But again, if you don't know how to trade, again, I'm just showing the real truth, the real reality of my journey, what works for me. And again, that's pretty much all I can do. And we're going to keep doing that every day. All right. Peace out.